This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Hey, you know, if it's Tuesday, it is movie reviews and more day. Hi, Roxy. And with that, I have to say this. I started doing things in Clubhouse today. So now we're doing Clubhouse from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time in Los Angeles. And I invite everybody around the world to join in. And what's going on with everything now. So I've been waiting for this show for a long time. And here we are. We're live on Talk4 Media, TV, radio, podcasting, K4 HD, radio, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon, iHeart, every outlet around the world. And the good thing about this show today is I've been waiting a long time for this young lady. I call her what's hot, what's cool, what's sexy. Yes, Caren, I'm talking about you. And the good thing about this is she's been in this business for a long time. And I love the fact that she's got two shows. You know, Caren Glasser streaming, and, you know, another one about helping authors with kids' books. And I think that's really, really special. But we met by accident in a coffee chat through Hasmark. And I go, this is really interesting. I wanted to know this woman who's got over 2 million views up to date. I think she's got a little bit more than that now because time has gone on. And I said, I need to know who she is. And we need to have her on a show. So I said, Caren, I had to meet you. Congratulations. I'm glad you're finally here on Movie Reviews and More because, like I said, it's been over like 2.5 months, right?
Yep. It's been a while.
I left out a couple of things. All right. So tell us where you're coming from. What makes you hot and cool and sexy in my book?
I don't know. We'd have to get inside your head right now. I have no idea. But hot, I live in Palm Desert, California, where it's been an average of 120 degrees. So maybe that's what you meant by hot. I don't know.
Wow. It could be. And with this, so Michelle Lee, this is a good one because I threw Michelle into the mix. This is her first time coming on a nationally, globally, worldwide show. And I wanted to put her in. I wanted to introduce her to Caren because I have a feeling that Caren has some special advice for her because Caren does a lot of stuff, not only outside of what she does, but also with Hasmark. And I thought that would be interesting because, Michelle, what happened to you over the weekend when we saw you? What did you become?
I became an international bestseller for the very first time.
Congrats.
With my book, It's Okay to Be Pink.
Love it.
Oh, that's cute.
Thanks.
And I said, you know, I timed it because she wanted to be on last week. And as you know, we had a lot of people on last week. So I'm like, you know what? Let me surprise Caren. Let's put her in. Caren will have a lot of advice to give you, Michelle, but also nonstop from Redondo Beach, California, with over 3 million views and still counting. And Vocally Tosh. Vocally Tosh, you've been busy doing stuff. I've been having a hard time keeping a track of what you've been doing. All right, Tosh, let's talk about what you've been doing. And then Terri, and we're going to jump right into Caren.
Okay. Oh man, it's been such a busy week and last week with so for everyone here, Caren and Michelle, I'm a Latin singer-songwriter and I just released my new single last week. So I'm basically like my publicist, my manager, my social media, like my everything. So I've been like going really hard in promoting, and I actually landed a TV interview on a huge Spanish TV channel that's airing this Sunday in Puerto Rico. Rico, Orlando, and Tampa, and Miami. And I did it all by myself, which was honestly like something I'm so grateful and I'm very proud of myself that, you know, I kept on pushing and pushing. And, you know, somebody said, hey, let's interview this girl. Like, she has a really cool song out. She did everything. And yeah, I invite you guys to listen. It's called ¿Qué pasó? It's a very Latin pop song, very tropical. Like you'll definitely start going like, okay. So definitely check that out. You can listen to any streaming platform, but it's been going crazy this week. I've been going like ham, trying to like reach journalists, TV stations, radio stations. So it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. I'm having a fun time in this process.
Congrats. And nonstop. Let's talk about what happened this weekend. So we were in Hollywood. We were doing the world premiere of Skindy for Vince Bonanno. For anybody who doesn't know who he is, he's got a certified nose. She's got it.
Ooh, Terri! Oh my God!
We're talking about this today, so yeah.
Terri, tell Caren and Michelle what that box is, because if I can get one for them, I will. Go ahead.
This is Vincent's skincare line, and it's awesome.
Caviar and diamonds.
Yes, caviar and diamonds, and he talked about it on the documentary, which was actually really cool because I met Vince on several of our shows, but it was kind of like backwards because we got to meet the funny side. Then I got to see the film of like some of the things that he went through to get to on where he is. But this is a luxury skincare line. So, you know, you've got your drugstore line, your like Macy's line, and you've got your like Chanel, Estee Lauder line, and then you have Vincent's line. So this is an awesome kit. We've got a cleanser. There is an eye cream here. Okay, I'm looking down. Sorry, but there's eye cream, and then there's these little caviar pods, which is actually caviar, which is excellent for your skin. So I've been using this product. I absolutely love it. So Vince has just launched that line. He's also doing a fragrance for Judy Garland, which is really exciting.
For the Judy Garland estate. And then what we found out, he's doing Lucille Ball's estate. And then I think it was Marilyn Monroe's too, if I'm correct.
Next.
With that. And then he's gonna sneak in ours for movie.
So we were able to. Yeah, so we had a fun Sunday. We got to go to the premiere. It was kind of interesting because I haven't been to a premiere since COVID. So I forgot, you know, the feeling of being in a theater. So it was fun. I had a good time.
So now, Caren, we had a chance to go to you because this is what it's all about. Like I said, I love doing an interview on her show, and I really like what she brings to the table. So, you know, this was booked, I think, like 2.5 months ago, and I'm like, time is going fast, but I'm like, I can't wait to talk to her because there's been so much going on. What's been happening since the last time I spoke with you? Because I wanted the girls to meet you on our show.
Oh my gosh, so much has been going on. You mentioned I have 2 shows. I actually now have 4 shows.
Oh, wow.
And I am now producing 3 shows for a new platform that's launching called Vital C. And what's cool about Vital C, it's all about the never-ending pursuit of what's next, specifically for all of us, meaning me, in the peak stage. We don't use the word old. We don't use any of those kind of things because at the end of the day, we just keep going, right? And so the shows are for that platform, which is launching in November. I'm very proud of them. We've had some guests like Leslie Zemeckis on it, Dave Koz, Beth Broderick, Diana Wentworth, Chef Babette, Bruce Ferber, just to name a few. And we are just going to go crazy on this. And I'm very, very proud of what we're doing over there. So it's more than 2 now, which is very exciting.
Oh, I love that. See how quickly things change. And with that, I love Leslie Zemeckis. I mean, she's, for those that don't know, she's an actress. She's written some great books on burlesque and things like that. And I adore her. And I love seeing everything when she's traveling around the world. And you know her husband, Bob Zemeckis, who framed Roger Rabbit, Forrest Gump, everything like that.
Yeah, all that.
So, Michelle Lee. So I've kind of been waiting for this. Yes, I'm wearing your shirt. It's, you know, if you could see it.
Oh, cool.
Because I told her I would wear her shirt, Caren. And
Love
the
it.
hat, I couldn't wear the hat because of my things, but I was going to do this.
Oh yeah,
But
true. Yeah.
But I was really happy to have you on because I wanted you to meet Caren and the other girls. And again, congratulations on what you pulled off this weekend.
Congrats. Yeah.
Because I didn't know that you were going to end up winning something this weekend. Talk about what that feeling was like.
Wow. So I was nominated for an Award of Excellence from Hasmark for social media usage and getting your message out there. And I was given honorable mention in that particular contest. And friends and family had to call in and vote and what have you for their favorite book. And I was honored to be nominated because at the time my book had not been released when I was nominated. And my book was released last Tuesday. So as of a week ago today, and within an hour and, well, by 1:30 in the afternoon, I was actually a bestseller in Canada. And then the following day, I became a bestseller internationally. And during that specific event, my book was put up for the Indie Book Awards by Hasmark Publishing themselves. So they nominated me for that category.
Very exciting. Congrats.
Thank
Congrats.
you.
Amazing, Michelle. Is this your first book?
I am a first-time author, yes.
Wow. Wow. You must be so like, that must be such an accomplishment to like go to international bestseller. Like kudos to you, Michelle. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. I am tickled pink, literally. Side note. My book was written actually 32 years ago, but I never did anything with it then. It was a high school, here it is. It was a high school project. And I was asked to write a book and read it to a grade 1, grade 2 class, which I did. And I handed over that little tiny book to them and what have you, and never really did anything with it for 32 years.
Wow.
And this year, I felt like this was the year that I needed to do something with me, for me, only for me. And not only do I have a website that people can go to as part of the book, where they can learn, yep, there it is, thank you, where they can learn different resources for parents and children. There are different things for kids to download for free. There are ways to figure out if your child is being bullied or not. A whole bunch of different resources there. You can reach out to me and I can help you as well. And then a portion of every single book that I do sell is going back to children's charities.
So Michelle, are you reading your stories live in any setting yet? Brian,
I am in a week and a half. Yes, I am. A local small library here has asked me if I would come do a live read and to bring samples of my books so that they can help me sell them as well. There will be about 20 different families or so there for that specific reading. So it's a little bit more intimate, that sort of thing. I'm not getting into the large areas yet, but I will be. I know that.
Well, if you want to be less intimate and maybe broadcast to the world, I would love to invite you to come on Once Upon a Storytime and read your book live to the parents and kids that are out there that are looking for something to do with their kids in the middle of all this crazy that we're in. So the invitation is extended and we'll talk later.
Thank you, Caren. I appreciate that. That's very sweet of you.
So, Caren, what is it like to be the Digital Diva? What does that mean today?
It means that I'm a geek. I'm a total geek. The more technology, the better. Brian alluded to the fact I've been doing this a long time, and I have. I've been live streaming before it was a thing in the early 90s. And I'm a retired clergy woman, and we used to stream our services to the shut-ins and live, and that was really way ahead of our time. Right now you push a button, right? Or you go on your computer and you're live. We didn't have that back then. We had these big, huge computers and satellites and everything. So I really love the idea that we can connect to a much bigger world rather than just who's in front of us in real time. So that's just, I just absolutely love it. So I'm a geek, and I have taught people back in the day when YouTube was just the beginning of going live. I taught people how to do that, and then we moved to other platforms, and ultimately Facebook and YouTube now, and Instagram and LinkedIn, Amazon Live. Our shows are on Roku and Amazon Fire. So the idea is for me is to always keep moving. And when I see something brand new, I'm like, okay, how do I get it? How do I do it? What do I need to learn? And I do it. And it's very exciting. Very, very exciting.
Caren, talk about when you started and then where you are now. What are the major changes that you've been seeing? And then what's the biggest misconception that people aren't doing right? And specifically women, because I really like to help. I call it gender empowerment, helping women. What do you see the number one mistake that they may be making when it comes to media and social media?
Well, I think the big mistake is that people are afraid to get in front of a camera. And if I hear one more time, I don't like how I look on camera, I want to just slap them and say, get over it. You look how you look. You're just not used to seeing yourself. So that is one of the biggest mistakes. And look, Brian, you know this. I grew my gray hair out on camera in front of a live audience for a full year. And so I would get on and say, okay, here's the reveal. And I put my head down and people would say, oh, you're crazy. Why are you doing that? Well, you don't have a choice. You go the way you need to go. And I was tired of coloring my hair. When I turned 60, after coloring it every 2 weeks since I was 30, I said, enough. I'm gonna let it go. And then it was like, oh my God, but I'm on camera. How am I gonna do that? Grew it out on camera. So I think you just need to be vulnerable. When you're vulnerable online or in front of a camera, what will happen is your audience is going to want to have what you're having because you're just a normal person. And once I started doing that, my numbers went crazy. So I think that the big thing is to be yourself, get over yourself. You look like you look, smile, and go with the flow.
See, that's what I like about that. That is so important, and you are so on when it comes to that. And that's one of the things where, like Terri,
Yes.
I like to have her hear these things, so it's not coming from me, if that makes sense. It's coming from another woman, because she'll say, "How do I look?" I'm like, "To me, you look fine, Terri." But I understand why she's saying that, because it's going down to the makeup and eyelashes and things like that, and I get it.
Brian, I'm a diva. I'm going to be a diva till I'm 90. So, but I understand, like, people not liking the way that they look on TV. I mean, on TV or video or whatever. Like sometimes, like today, I didn't have time to really do my makeup because I was so busy. But I mean, I like being a woman. I like nails. I like hair. I like that kind of stuff. That's just me, But sometimes I don't like the way I look, and it's sometimes it's none of us are perfect. So I think you're your hardest critic. I mean, I'm really hard on myself. So
I get that. Yeah, I get that.
Caren, what would you say to her?
Well, first of all, you're beautiful.
Because it's
first of all, Terri, you're beautiful.
So you get even more hard on yourself. What?
You're beautiful, number one. And number two, you're beautiful. And when you get up on camera and you're just yourself, I get it. You want to be all made up and you want to do that whole thing. But at the end of the day, I believe, and again, this is just my personal opinion. And so I don't want anyone to do anything or feel that they have to do something. But I do really think that people relate to the individual, not the eyelashes or the blush or the lipstick. I was laughing. I put lipstick on literally as I was sitting here because I can see that, it's not, but I forget half the time because it's not about me. It's about my guest. It's about the subject. It's about what we're talking about. And it's about, more important, your audience. And so pay attention to them. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I get that. I'm very secure in myself. I guess my point is that when you do fit, because I'm a fitness competitor, so it's very like what you look like, how you present yourself.
Right.
So you want to be that person all the time, and it's like none of us are. No one is that. No one looks like that when they're not on stage. Does that make any sense? Because we're all yeah. So I mean, it's a show. We're putting on a show. So But I think a lot of, and Brian knows this, a lot of us people that compete are very hard on ourselves. You know that.
No question about that. We're our own worst critic. We are
Yep.
our own worst critic. And I will be honest with you, I never watch my shows after I record them.
Yep, not either.
Because
Yeah,
they're
you
live,
mean
they already are out. Why should I make myself sick?
Caren, I thought that was just me who did that too. I
do that with my songs. Like when I record my songs and I hear them back, I'm like, I want to hear it in like a couple days. I don't want to hear it yet because I got nervous like hearing my own self, and it's so stupid to like, you know, feel that way when you know, like, you know, either you have talent or you're just like, you start like self-doubting yourself. So I thought I was the only one. So I'm glad everybody else also has those moments.
Absolutely.
I was going to ask you, Josh, I mean, sometimes when you do stuff, do you look at stuff and go, ugh, and then you'll look at it later and go, oh God, that was pretty good. Because I do that to myself all the time. Like I'll eat with photos or like just anything, you know, I put out there. I'll just say first time I'll be like, oh my God, ugh. And then because I'm being too hard on myself, and then if I go back and look at it, it kind of changes. I
think it's the lens that we look at things.
Yeah.
Depending on, you know, after the show, the lens is okay. It had to be a good show. It had to be perfect. The guests, blah, blah. And later on, when you look at it, it's a totally different feel. So I get that. And look, I'm not, even though my shows get a lot of views and even though they are on TV and all that stuff, I don't look at it as that I'm doing Hollywood. And maybe that just, you know, just who I mean, and I've sung at Carnegie Hall. I have, you know, 6 CDs. We don't call them CDs anymore, live stream, whatever we call them. CDs. I was with Rhino Records. I traveled the country. I played at zoos because I'm a children's rock and roll artist, which is, again, Michelle, back to the kids. I've always been about the kids. So I'm really excited to get to know you. But for me, it might be Hollywood, but I never got impressed with that with myself. And I think that's probably, I show up not as me, but as the person who's going to pull out the best from my guests.
That's exactly why I like you, because I think we do the same thing. She's you know, Tasha, and I remember calling Tosh and letting her know and telling Terri about you after I did the interview with you. And after I first saw you in a coffee chat, I found someone who's doing what we do. And I said, that's great. She's got it. Because it's all about the views, Caren, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. It's all about the views. And I think that more and more people are starting to understand that. You know, we have to advertise our shows. If you're not advertising your shows, you're missing the boat, guys. Totally missing the boat. Anyone who's watching. And in these days, it means advertising on Facebook. It means advertising on YouTube or however you're going to do that. We need to promote the shows because it's about the views. Why is it about the views? If I didn't have the views that I have, I would not have people coming to me and saying, A, I want to sponsor, and B, I want to be a guest on your show. So it is all about the views, more eyeballs. I'm really popular in Italy, and we don't know why. I would say 80% of my views come from Italy.
I think that's fabulous. Good for you.
Yeah.
So Roxy, when it comes to this, because you might be hard on yourself because you're the engineer, but you also host your show too. So talk about that.
Okay, so I learned from the get-go that I couldn't focus on myself. I couldn't. And because I'm doing so many things in the background that I couldn't make those double things happen at the same time, you know. But so producing and engineering a show at the same time, I just got to go with the flow, and I don't go back and listen to my shows either. And I've been satisfied with everything so far, and if you know,
I get it.
Yep.
Yeah. Producing and being the talent is a challenge sometimes, but
Exactly.
it is, you know, it is what it is. You do it, right?
And that's one of the reasons why I'm happy with what Tasha's been doing, because she uploads all of our shows on our YouTube. So she got a chance, Caren, to see the back door of all the stuff that we were doing. This time last year, we're at 77,000 views, but we were going up, not in a 28-day period. We were going up hours, right, Tosh? Because she was the only one that could see everything that was going on. And that's why she's doing well, because she got it right away. And I was so happy. She started kicking butt and she went forward. That's why she's doing well, and I'm happy for her.
Yeah, I mean, I took a copy of your book, Brian, and I was like, you know what? If what you're doing is, working for you, people are tuning into your shows, are subscribing, are engaging with you, then I was like, I have to give it a shot. Everything as you start like with your career or continue with your career, you always have to be seeing what works for you, what works with your audience. And I appreciate you, Brian, because honestly, like I've done a lot of like promotions and different campaigns, and then I haven't really gotten the same exposure that I wanted until I started kind of doing things the way that you're doing it, and I'm like, okay, like I see it, I understand it, and now I'm going to continue doing it until you see Natasha Rumbos at the billboard in Times Square,
Good for you. That's awesome. Do it. I think it's awesome.
Thank you, Caren.
Totally. I'm also thinking that you need to come on my Caren Glasser live show and sing live. Would you do that?
Yes.
All right.
Where are you? Where are you located? Are you in Italy?
No, I'm in Palm Desert, but we'll do it online. You'll sit and and I'll sit here and you'll play and perform, and that's one of the kind of shows that we do. I think people will love you.
I would love that. That would be amazing.
All right, let's do it.
Caren, what advice do you have for singers these days? Because the first thing I notice, not all of them want to do the work. And then the second thing is they all want to be famous like the Kardashians. And, they want to put their camera on and go on Instagram Live and say, hey, here I am, follow me. And that's not how it works, does it?
No, it isn't. I mean, it would be nice if it worked that way, right? It's back to how you share what you do. So what I find with musicians, with authors, with a lot of people, business owners, they do the show, and then it's like, okay, why isn't it doing anything? Like you're waiting for it to do something rather than you to do something with it. Mm-hmm. I believe that we should be working smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
And repurposing whatever you do within an inch of its life. And that means if you do a show, strip the audio out, go do a podcast. If you're going to do a show, make sure you do a blog post around the show, put the show, embed it right into the blog post. Make sure that it's over on all the different platforms, and then social media, share it out. And again, what I said earlier, put a boost on it and make sure you know who your demographic is, and you'll be okay. You'll be good. You'll be good to go.
All right. So, Caren, you know what I said to Victoria, who's not on this week, and you know what I said to Terri? You girls got to help me share these shows. Me and Tasha doing all the stuff on this stuff. And the only reason Tasha's doing it because she could see through the back door of all the analytics of what's going on. She gets it. And so that's why when she said she wasn't on last week's show, I'm like, go for it. You go be on that TV show. This is what it's all about. This is the more part. We're supposed to be helping a lot of people, giving voice to the voiceless, right, Caren?
Exactly.
And each time I remind Terri, what's a bigger number? 20,000 followers or 3 million views and counting? Caren, what would you say to her?
Oh, well, we already know what I'd say. 3 million views. I mean, it and more, keep going. So yeah, it's the views. It's all about the views, because that will get the eyeballs. Views are eyeballs, and the more eyeballs that you get, the more opportunity will be given to you.
Mm-hmm.
So Michelle, I had this conversation with a couple other authors who actually called me from Canada, and they wanted to know, how do you do what you do? And I'm like, do you really want to know? First of all, I'm not married, don't have any kids. I'm the only person of color in the entertainment industry right up to last year that does not have that. I just turned 61. However, I'm going to be retiring in 2 years. So I named the date, Caren, September 26, 2023. I'm going to be so hard to get a hold of. You're going to have to come to the Dream River Ranch and make an appointment to see me, because with all the stuff that's going, and I'm not kidding. Have Terri and Tasha, have I told you how much I'm going to make in the next 2 years?
Yes.
I said $50 million. And Caren, and you know what, when you put that out there, and again, when I'm telling everybody and I'm calling everybody and telling them what we're doing, I make no bones about it. When I say between now and the end of the year, we're going to either end up with 13 or 15 million views, we will. But it's about the shares. So yes. You heard it from Caren, Terri, and Tosh, just to remind you, because you do it too. It's all about sharing these shows. And when I'm putting it on 13 different platforms, it takes me like 2.5 hours to do all this stuff. It's a lot to do.
And
yeah.
also, when you're sharing it, you want to make sure you have images that represent what you're putting out there, and they got to be exciting because, again, you want to meet your viewers where they are. Some viewers want to watch a show. Some viewers want to read what the show is about. Some viewers want to listen. But the first thing they're going to do on a show is they're going to use their eyes to see the thumbnail. And so that is so important. I spend a lot of time, I'm a one-woman show. So I basically spend hours creating social media images that will go on TikTok, that will go on. I mean, I fought that. I'm not going to do TikTok, never, but I'm on TikTok. What can I say? Doing TikTok, doing reels. I mean, literally, you could spend all day long. And my advice to anybody is figure out which one of those social media platforms work for your demographic and just stick with those. Anyone who tells you you need to be using all the social media platforms,
it's too hard. It's so hard because there's so many of them. So yeah. I mean, I try to do Facebook, TikTok, and Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram.
Are you doing reels on Instagram too?
I'm sorry?
Are you doing reels on Instagram as well?
I've got my TikTok there.
On the spot.
Well, the problem with me is I've got so many things on my plate right now. It's really hard because I have a full-time job.
Karen, is that an excuse? We all have to work hard, don't we?
Oh, no, you're not listening, Brian. I work like actually from 7 in the morning till 5 at night. My day job.
You're talking to the wrong person, huh, Karen?
No, but you know what, Terri? I get what you're saying, and that goes back to pick the platforms that are going to work for you. But I guess if you're going to use Instagram, use all the different components that are in Instagram.
This is where I wanted to go with this because this is what I'm finding out. I'm ADD and I am all over the place. I need to focus on certain things, otherwise it's not complete. You can only do so many things, and I think a lot of people try to do too many things, especially people that have ADD. Because then nothing gets done. Then you got like shit here. I'm sorry, but just like it's not organized. So right now I'm trying to pick 3 things that I want to do right now and focus on those things. Then when I get to that goal, go to the next one, because otherwise it's just a big mess. So with my social media, I'm trying to just focus on a lot on my Instagram and my TikTok more so because I feel like I have a better audience on that than Facebook. Facebook Facebook's not fun anymore to me. So those are the kind of the platforms I like to focus on.
And the reach. Right. Huh? The reach on Facebook has changed. All the whole algorithms because of the Apple, the privacy laws and all that stuff. So,
it's just not. It's not really for entertainment. For entertainment and stuff, I don't think Facebook is a really good platform anymore. I think TikTok and Instagram are probably the best. Mm-hmm. That's my opinion. But that's what I noticed. But I'm trying to focus on certain things and trying to be a little bit more organized and being so scattered because I have certain goals. Like otherwise I don't get anything accomplished. Does that make sense? I can't overload yourself. You can want to do a lot of things, but then there's only so many times in the day, so you have to pick what's gonna. I mean, you have to make
low hanging fruit. Pick the low hanging fruit.
Yes, but which is gonna get you. So you have a goal, and then you have a path to that goal, and you stick to that plan. Because if you start going all over the place and say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this and this," then nothing gets done. And I've been doing that. I've noticed that. Now that I'm doing this, I'm a little bit more calmer. Like it's just helping my mind, my psyche, because I've been overwhelmed, And you also have to learn how to say no sometimes too, because if you're saying yes to everybody, then you're also getting bombarded because you can't make everybody happy. So you have to sometimes put limits to things. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. No is a beautiful word. No is a beautiful word.
Yeah.
And
it's an underused word too.
Yes.
Totally underused.
Exactly.
So for example, if you were gonna for me, I'm starting to I'm getting back into art again. So I need to focus on fitness and art and my full-time job, because that's where my main source of entertainment. Main source of income is coming from right now, and focus on those things and being successful on those things. And then when I get to the goal on where I want to go with each of those avenues, then I can go on to the next. That makes sense. And I'm not overwhelming myself.
Totally.
See, I'm a YouTuber, not a TikToker, because I leave that to the women. But here's the thing, Terri, remember Harness and then Easy Way Network? And then Alignable, obviously YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and there's like 2 other sites that I'm leaving. There's like 13 sites that I put all the shows on, Caren. It is a lot to do, but however, it is worth it.
It's a lot of work.
It. And that's Caren. That's why I'm proud of what you do, because you do it all by yourself. It's not easy, you know.
Well, I tried to get my son to do it with me, and he's 36, and he doesn't know what, as he calls, old people like. And so I would, I would want him to create certain things, and he had not a clue as to what I was talking about because he's 36. So sometimes you just do it yourself. It's much easier just to do it yourself. I'm not a very good delegator, clearly. Maybe one day I'll delegate, but right now, not so much. So I do it myself.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you need. I mean, I am getting help with my social media. I'm going to be working with Carl, who works with us on the radio show. So that's going to be a big help to me, because I just with all the stuff I'm doing, I need help if I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? Sometimes you do need help with social media. Yeah. So
lots of times.
Hey, Tosh,
you know what?
Go ahead, Caren. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, it's all about putting a system in place, right? I'm a Trello board girl. I love Trello. And if you saw my Trello boards, your head would explode, especially you're saying you have ADD. Actually, it probably would help, but I use Trello boards. So, and everything is templated. So whenever I book a new guest, it goes right into the structure, and they move from list to list to list.
I've used that before. Trello's really good. I had another podcast I was on before this, and we used that. It does really help you stay organized.
Right. And continuity is important. So I can say this to everybody. If you're only going to do a show once in a blue moon and your audience doesn't know when you're coming on next, you might as well just pack it up. So continuity, consistency, they need to know when. I'm also a YouTube girl, so just like you, Brian. And if you go to my YouTube channel, it says new shows every week. Right there. The call to action is in the banner, because I want them to know that they can come back. Even if they don't want to come back, they know there's going to be a new show. And so tell the people what you want them to know, because they're not going to know. They're just not going to know to come back. I feel like they're going to know. No, they're not going to know. That's a TikTok trend. I'm sorry, I just went to digress a little.
Exactly. And so I found something new, another new toy. It's called Remarkable. Caren, do you know about this?
I have one.
You have one. All right, see, we're in alignment. So
Way
I got
cool.
this. They sent it. So this one's the first one. They have a Remarkable 2. You can write different things on it. Caren, what do you like to do with yours?
Well, I have terrible handwriting, and I tend to like scribble, and it recognizes my scribble. So when you scribble, and then it turns it into text, and it puts it right into your computer, which is very cool. If you're a scribbler, like I am. So that's way cool. I got a new toy as well, Brian. I just got my Oculus glasses, because I'm branching into VR, virtual reality. Mm-hmm. So I just got my Oculus glasses today. Again, I'm a geek. I got excited about that. Yeah, I got excited about that.
Good. See, Caren doesn't know this. Maybe she does. I'm going to have her speak at the Dreamweaver Artist Ranch next year on what she's done, all her years of this. And that will be exciting, because I love the information that she has. She's known about the views. She's coming from that world of entertainment, of what it's like to be that singer. So Tasha, you have someone there to help guide you, because she's been there. She knows that. And that's a great thing to have. And it's so important, because I think the education factor has been a lost art. And I love having the authors on, especially, through Hasmark, because I find them fascinating. And a lot of them have become friends. I've actually made 2 of them co-hosts for movie reviews and more, Roberto Delanise and then Angelica Rumbos. So that I think that's fun. And then we like to invite them to certain events. So
thank you.
I know, exactly. So that's going to be my new gift to you. So I'm happy that you have Remarkable. I think that's really good, because a lot of people don't know about these nice little gadgets that are out there,
Yeah, way cool, especially for scribblers and bad handwriting.
Hey, Michelle, tell the story on anti-bullying, why this is really, really important to you, why that's important.
When I was a really young child, I've been bullied most of my life. right through adulthood, actually. I wrote a story for Bob Proctor's website, PGI, that went to the Insight of the Day weekend story, and he published it as a weekend story. When I was 9 years old, I was a new kid out of school, so I had been in 5 different public schools before I graduated grade 8. So I was always the new kid. And a young boy came up to me in my grade and he pushed me on the tarmac. And I was not exactly pleased by that. Being the youngest of 5 kids and having 3 older brothers, I knew how to push back. That wasn't the issue. The issue was, why are you pushing me? And he wouldn't stop pushing me. I went to the teacher. I asked the teacher to get him to stop pushing. The teacher just basically ignored me. I was pushed aside by the teacher. Like, you just forget about it, is what she said. And this continued onward, day after day, till eventually I was pushed down so far that I was hurt on the tarmac. And when the teacher wouldn't listen to my concerns, I took it upon myself to go to the principal. Walked into the principal's office, sat down, pushed my way in, and told him what was going on. The principal looked at me, I'm 9 years old, and said to me, Michelle, the reason he pushed you is because he likes you. And my jaw dropped. Are you kidding me? I looked the principal straight in the eye and I said, no, that's not what this is. This is abuse. Look it up in the dictionary. And I ran out of there crying because, of course, I wasn't heard. And I was ticked off. So I cried on the way home on the bus. I went into my parents and I told them what happened. And the very next morning, my father said, you're not taking the bus, my dear. I'm taking you to school. And he and I walked into the principal's office together. He asked me to sit down and he said, you're going to hear some words that you're likely already know, but plug your ears. And my father went up one side, down the other, and through the middle of that principal and explained to him that under no means should any child be hit this way. I had bruises on me. I was bleeding. And I was pushed pretty bad over and over and over again. And my father made me feel worthy and heard. And that's the only thing I was asking that teacher to do as well. Now, when we got home after school, my father said to me, you do realize there's likely something going on with that young boy too, why he's pushing little girls. And I said, yes. And he said, hurt people hurt people. You need to remember that just because you were hurt, most likely is because that young boy was hurt. And that was teaching me empathy. I was 9. And I could not believe that this principal had the audacity to say that abuse was the same as affection. No. When I was married, I miscarried all of my children and wasn't able to help them. And so this book to me is a way of helping other children and helping them see that there is another way, that kindness is not just something that should be shoved under the rug. Kindness is something that should be explored, and it should be something we practice every single day. And so I want to help those kids talk about abuse because who has not been bullied in their life? If you're an adult and you've ever posted something on social media that somebody didn't like, guess what? You experienced it most likely, and it's in all forms and it's in all different shapes and sizes, and it doesn't matter. We are more alike than we are different. Let's get that through our heads.
And so what's the name of your book again? For this reason?
I love the title. I love the title.
Thank you.
And the illustrations are beautiful too.
Thank you.
Very cute.
I have a very good friend of mine who did the illustrations. She is not an illustrator, but I turned her into one.
There you go.
Yeah. Michelle, give you social media links. Go ahead.
Okay, so Michelle Lee Author on Facebook, bobtheglob.com. And if you need to reach out to me, it's info@bobtheglob.com is the easiest, quickest way to get a hold of me.
So, Caren, when it comes to things like this is why, obviously, why we give voice to the voiceless, because these issues are very, very important, aren't they?
Oh, yes, that's putting it mildly. And I think that it's about our stories, right? And I really believe that what makes for a good show and what makes for a good book and what makes for a good experience is the story that you have behind it. And your why is extraordinarily powerful. And when you tell your story, I could feel it myself. I mean, we're in little squares over here, but it just, when you told that the principal said that, it's like, you just want to go hit him, if not yourself. So yeah, giving voice. And my gosh, congratulations, at 9 years old, you were able to do what you did. Wow. Awesome.
Yeah. Only my siblings pushed me. Nobody else on the playing field.
Hey, Caren, what do you got coming up?
What do I have coming up? I have the launch of the 3 new shows that are coming up in November, which is very, very exciting. And I'm working hard on that. So I'm jumping almost full time into the production end of it, even though I do a couple of shows, and Michelle, you'll be on the show, and Natasha will be on the show. But I love, and Roxy, I'm sure you understand this, I love being behind the scenes. I love making things happen like automagically, right? So just making sure that the pictures come up and the social media and the images and all that, because as hosts, that's the last thing you want to do. And I produce my own shows, and it's like multitasking, trying to get the picture up, and then the scrolling and all that. It can give you a headache. So I'm producing a lot of shows right now, and that to me is probably the most exciting thing. And more importantly, that I get to see my folks and my family in a month for the first time in 2 years. They are coming to the desert. All of my siblings and their spouses and my parents, who both had COVID, they're in their late 80s. They survived. And so I get to give so that to me is more important than anything else. I get to see my family. I get to hug them. I get to touch them, but not too close again, because we don't know what's going on. But that to me is the biggest news that I can share right now. I'm very excited about that.
Congratulations on that.
Yes.
That is important. I'll try, right, Terri, give you social media links.
Terri Marie Nonstop on Instagram, TikTok, and on Facebook. And then my website is TerriMarieOfficial.com.
And Tosh, go ahead.
Well, you can find me on all social media platforms as @VocallyTosh, but you can also go to my website, NatashaRumbosMusic.com, and you'll find my videos, my songs, everything that you need to know about me is right on that website.
Love it.
And with that, so Roxy, we got to show this. All right, Roxy, give you a title of your show too, because yours is Monday nights at 6 or 8, right? Is that right?
It's at 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Yep, that's right.
On Talk 4 TV and W4CY, and come check it out. Look up on YouTube Music Familiar Productions.
And so but right before we go, we got to show the new image of Dreamweaver Artist Ranch, because we had a couple people create it, and I think it's really special of the butterfly, which is important.
Beautiful.
That's how everything will be. And then if you look at the bottom, it says Artistry, Renewal, Thrive. And it stands for art. And the beautiful butterflies come in. And so our Dreamweaver Artist Ranch is going to be built. If you could think of 2 triangles with the tips meeting, it turns into a butterfly. That's how it's being built up. It's very, very special. Caren, I look forward to having you come back again. Michelle Lee, thank you so much. Roxy, obviously, we can't do anything without you. Terri, congratulations on all the stuff that you're doing. And Tosh, keep everything going. And as I always say before we go, have a good night tonight, a better day tomorrow. And if you see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours because the world needs it. I'm Brian Sebastian. This is Movie Reviews and More, and we will see you next week.